And good evening, everyone, from the SIU Arena in Carbondale. It's the Salukis and Wichita State Shockers in exciting Missouri Valley Conference basketball action. I'm Mike Trude. Russ Eisenstein is alongside. A couple of different teams tonight. Southern with a lot to play for. They are 8-7 in the conference, hopefully on their way up to a fourth-place finish, possibly third in the conference. Wichita comes in. Russ, their team going nowhere fast this year.
Well, they haven't won on the road yet in the Missouri Valley Conference this year. They got one win on the road in the conference last year. They're mired in the basement. One of the teams that has clinched to play on that Friday, the play-in game in the Valley Conference tournament. They do have a couple of good ball players, but they just haven't pieced it together this year.
Salukis have won 7 out of their last 9 games. The 2 losses in there were Creighton and Illinois State. They're playing better. They're defensively playing better. They're making plays when it counts down the stretch. And this is a team that is hopefully peaking at the right time of the season.
Bruce Weber said that this is the best that they've played all year. They're hitting their late season peak. 2 out of 3 on the road, and that road trip isn't that bad. Going up to Iowa and UNI and Drake, places that historically SIU is not very good at. They take 2 out of 3. Now it's time to defend the home court tonight.
The Dawgs playing well. Wichita really struggling this year. Won a game on Saturday. It's the first time they won in a long time. We'll be back with the starting lineups here at the SIU Arena when we come back right after these messages. And welcome back to the SIU Arena. The Shockers and Salukis here from Carbondale. Let's check the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game. First for the visiting Shockers from Wichita State. They come in with a record of 8-16, 3-12 in the Valley. O.J. Robinson and Troy Mack, the forwards. A guard combination of Benton, McFall, and Phillips. They're not very big. They're pretty good at the guard spot with Benton and McFall. Phillips can make them go a little bit. They've just struggled putting the ball in the basket.
Sure they have. Terrell Benton is their leading scorer with 12.7 points per ball game. When you have that low of an average to lead your ball club, you know you have some problem.
And for the Salukis, they go with their Pat lineup they've gone with for many, many games. Cross and Schrader at the forwards. Sylvester Willis, the redshirt freshman at center. Williams and Belcher at the guards. Williams has really been lighting it up lately, hitting for 29 and 29 on 2 out of the 3 last road games.
He's kind of flirted with the 2 and 3 spot in scoring in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now he's up to number 2 with a 17.8 point per game average.
Let's quickly go to Kevin Boucher. Kevin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful tonight. Thank you very much, Mike and Russ. And I'm going to be here helping remind you that these games cost money. And again, we would like to remind you to call with your membership. The number is on your screen, 1-800-745-9748. Of course, as with something very special like the Saluki basketball game, when you make a pledge at $60, you get the basketball. Don't forget, 1-800-745-9748.
Thank you, Kevin. We have tipped off, and that's Phillips with a basketball. He's lightning quick at a guard spot, but not a great score. There's their score right there, 15, Benton. He can put it in the hole. Otherwise, they struggle putting it in the hoop.
Early on this year, they were 5-1 to start out the season with wins over Kansas State and a pretty good ball club of Oklahoma State. But after that, they really hit the skids. A loss to Hampton. And don't be surprised if Hampton gets into the NCAA tournament, but losing to them at home, that kind of hurts.
5 on the shot clock. Phillips has no idea where the clock is. Robinson has to jack one up, and that's where they've struggled all year long. They like to run the shot clock down a little bit, but Robinson had no idea where the clock was. It was under 2 when he took the shot.
How about that for a first possession? That is just awful. On the road, yeah, you're going to have struggles on your first possession, but on a shot clock violation, that's inexcusable.
Pretty well epitomizes their season all year long. They have really struggled. They beat Southwest Missouri State at home on Saturday, and even that was a struggle. It was a very low-scoring basketball game.
It certainly was, and a player that really doesn't get a lot of point production. Michael Phillips had 11. O.J. Robinson had 12 to lead them. O.J.'s a pretty good ball player, one of the leaders in the Valley in rebounding.
This is where Phillips is good on transition. C.C. McFall jacks up the 3 and knocks it down. He is a 28% shooter from 3, so he doesn't shoot a lot of them, but he was wide open on transition.
C.C. McFall is a junior from Benton Harbor, Michigan. He went to Southeastern Iowa Community College, went to one of the final rounds in the Junior College National Championships, and he's proved to be a pretty good player for Mark Turgeon this year.
We're just underway here. Turgeon, the first-year head coach, came to the Shockers from Jacksonville State. Tried Schrader misses on the 3, and Southern has put up 2 threes thus far. Wichita played all zone against Southwest Missouri State the other day. Turgeon said he will mix it up today, but don't be surprised if they play a little bit of zone.
You know, and another thing, Mark Turgeon was there at Jacksonville State for 2 years, had some success with the Gamecocks, but he moves out to Wichita, and this really isn't his system. I talked to him today, and he said, boy, I'm frustrated with slowing it down. I'm going to speed it up next year, but he doesn't have the horses to do it yet.
McFall, no. Here come the Dogs. It's Williams. Abel draws the foul on Benton. First foul on Terrell Benton.
Abel Schrader, 19 points in the game against Northern Iowa, and that comes a 5-of-7 effort. But then you turn the page and look what he did against Illinois State. And boy, you'd want to forget about that effort. He was 2 of 8 for 4 points. He really started to turn it on up in the dome at UNI.
Abel at the free throw line, too strong. Southern a little bit jacked up, small crowd on hand. So we hope you're enjoying the telecast from home. There's Mark Turgeon, first-year head coach from Jacksonville State. It was a huge surprise when Turgeon got the job at Wichita. Number one, he went to Kansas, and Kansas and Wichita State are like oil and water. They don't mix.
You know, I read a newspaper article on the internet about the hiring, and just surprised because the Shocker Nation turned to a Jayhawk, but they're pretty happy with him there. They sold out their first home game, capacity crowd, standing room only in the win against Kansas State. I really believe that he'll get it done and get back to the tradition of Wichita State basketball.
Here comes Belcher to Schrader. Block. Nice block by Terrell Benton. And back come the Shockers.
That's what Terrell Benton does for you. He's 6'5". He plays like a guard. He really struggled this year, 12.9 on average, but he's a lot better than that. He's very athletic, very quick, and Southern's going to have to pay attention to him tonight.
Number 22, Troy Mack, who just put the pick on Belcher, has been an anomaly for this Shocker ball club. Look at his size, look at his strength, and he just really struggles underneath. Puts a shot up, and look at that. Just not even close on the shot.
Sure. He's a player that's very physical. Randy Smithson, the head coach at Wichita State last year, they led the conference in fouls, and that's something you probably don't want to do. But Troy Mack is an interesting story as well. He's a senior, but much like Tyrese Bryson of Illinois State, he could be around next year if he graduates.
Williams, no. And here come the Shockers, 2-on-1, Benton and Phillips.
Southern just didn't get back that time defensively. It was a long, drawn-out 2-on-1 break. And Wichita got a rebound there. That's a situation you don't want to see on a break, getting an offensive rebound.
C.C. McFall to the corner, and O.J. Robinson straight up in the air, and Schrader gets the block. And back come the Dogs. Southern not doing much on offense yet. Hasn't taken a shot down low except for Schrader's shot where he drew the foul. They've taken 2 threes and 1 17-footer.
It was a quick 2 years for O.J. Robinson in Wichita. He led them in scoring in the win over Southwest Missouri the other night with only 12 points. But he's a very physical ball player. He's one of the leaders in the Valley in rebounding. He muscles you around down low.
Cross tips the rebound out to Belcher. Southern very erratic on offense. We're already nearing the first media timeout, and Southern does not have a basket.
You know, and Wichita does that to you. They have the tendency to slow things down. They don't score very much, and Mark Turgeon isn't happy with that, but they'll slow you down offensively as well.
Kent from 3, no, too strong again. Southern's done nothing inside.
And that's something that's difficult to do. Wichita State is a good rebounding ball club. Southern is a very good rebounding team as well. They're second in the league in that category. But tonight, Willis and Dearman are going to have to go up against O.J. Robinson and Troy Mack.
12 on the shot clock now. Benton has an open lane to the hoop. Now will shoot it and scores. Benton with 2. The Shockers lead it early 5-1.
And I really think Terrell Benton's going to be a player that helps turn around the program next year when Turgeon gets a couple quicker players in the lineup. Benton's going to be a main cog.
Shockers have gone zone. Willis has it knocked away, and Southern's in love with the 3 because of the zone. Kent tries a wraparound, no, and it won't go down. Wide open, Robinson.
Once again, Southern that time didn't get back. I think they're struggling offensively, and that's translating into their defensive effort. And quickly a timeout from Bruce Weber.
Bruce Weber wants a timeout. We'll keep it here. It is a full timeout, but it is not a media timeout. and Southern really struggling on offense. Wichita mixing up defenses, going man to zone, and against a zone you fall in love with the three, and if the three doesn't fall, then you really struggle because you're afraid to kick it inside. And Bruce is talking to his team about probably getting the ball inside, working it around, and trying to take advantage of this Wichita defense.
You know, I talked to Mark Turgeon earlier today, and taking a look at their results in that 11-game losing streak, 6 of those games were in single figures that they lost. And he said, you know, Southern has had a lot of close games that they've won this year. We just haven't had the proper breaks to fall, and Wichita could have a lot better of a record if they did have those breaks. And some struggling ball games, an overtime loss to Southern that really set them in motion in that losing streak, an 80-72 game that he said, frankly, Russ, we should have won the ball game, and we let Southern win it.
Well, they started the season 5-1, and one of the victories was a victory over Oklahoma State. So they were pretty excited about their ball club, and so they started 5-1. They're 8-16, so they've gone 3-15 in their last 18 games, and all 3 wins are conference wins, of course, and all have been at home. They've done nothing on the road this year or last year in the conference, and it's just a team that if you get them down, you can bury them. But 7-1 deficit right now. They're not down yet.
Sure, and you take a look at the last ball game between Southern and Wichita State at Levitt Arena. That was on January 17th. That was the 3rd loss in a row for Wichita State. They didn't play that poorly. They shot 50% for the ball game. Southern shot 22% in the first half. 38% overall for the ball game. That was a game that Kent Williams came out to play, and he took the whole team on his back in the overtime. He had 22 points to lead Southern, and 21 points for C.C. McFall led Wichita State.
13 of his points in overtime were at the free throw line. He did 13 straight, for 13 out of 14 free throws, I believe, in the overtime period. You're right, he did carry the team on his back that day, and I think Josh Cross also had a huge steal and dunk in that overtime period, and when Josh does that, Southern really plays well. Mells and Buie and Dearman in now for Southern. Adam Grunvig has come in, as has Matt Clark for the Shockers.
Southern Illinois is 0 of 8 shooting from the field early on in the ball game.
Wide open is Kent. Matchup zone for the Shockers. Buie from the corner, good. Tyrese in the zone will have that shot all night long if he wants it, and there we have our first media timeout. There's 14-12 left to go in the first half. It's the Shockers over the Dawgs, 7-3. Welcome back to the SIU Arena. The Dawgs trail the Shockers early 7-3. 14-12 left to go in the first half. This is our last televised game of the year, and we've enjoyed bringing you Saluki basketball throughout this season. And in order for us to do so again in 2001 and 2002, we strongly need your help with pledges. Our number to support Saluki basketball is 1-800-745-9748. We know that hardly any of you are at the arena tonight. There's less than 2,000 people here, so you're probably watching on the screen, and we could really use your support. Again, the number 1-800-745-9748. Rick Gregg is our roving reporter tonight. Rick, what do you got for us?
Well, thanks, guys. You know, you touched on 2 of the keys that the Salukis say they need to do to win this ball game. The first one, rebound. Consider this: Wichita is getting the same number of rebounds as they did as last year, except they're making more shots, which means they're winning on the defensive boards. The other thing the managers say they have to do, take care of business. They're not doing either one yet. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rick. Dawgs pressing in the backcourt, and this is something we haven't seen a lot of this year, but it forces the Shockers to play a little bit quicker style, if you will. And that's Phillips and Mells. I like that matchup. On the floor, Brandon diving. Wins the jump ball, and Southern gets it on the possession arrow.
Brandon Mells in 20 minutes in the ball game at Northern Iowa had only 3 points. He had 4 turnovers. He didn't hit a shot from the floor. He didn't attempt any. He's really going to have to turn it around tonight, and he's going to have to turn it around as the Salukis head to St. Louis. He's going to be a major player, play some minutes in Arch Madness.
Shockers back in the man defense, and Brandon throws it right to Duke Chamba.
Duke's brother Butch was a ball player at Southwest Missouri State a couple years ago.
Duke's playing time has diminished the last several basketball games. He's one of their top scorers, but his minutes have diminished.
Duke is the leading 3-point percentage player on Wichita State. He doesn't attempt all that many, but he is the leader in that category nonetheless.
Steal by the Salukis, and the Shockers are turning it over, and that's what Southern wants out of this. Dearman kicks it back out to Tyrese. Inside, Jermaine draws the foul from the big man. Willie Davis, a 6'8" junior, seeing his first playing time in several games. He's back in tonight, and here's the feed down low to Jermaine, and watch Willie with the knee right there.
Willie Davis has that potential to foul. He's a much improved player from last year. He's scoring a little more. He had 14 points to lead Wichita State against Creighton earlier on this year.
Buie misses the short jump shot, and here comes Shamba. Still 7-3, Shockers on top. Slow start for the Salukis tonight on offense.
And over the past couple years, Randy Smithson initiated this type of offense, and Mark Turgeon is desperately trying to shade it.
Davis way too strong. And Buie forced out of bounds by Chamba, but Wichita's going to keep the basketball.
Got to be a foul there. He landed on the back. Did the native of Belgium, Duke Chamba. Should have been a foul call there, but Wichita's going to get the basketball.
Chamba coming off a couple of picks. Buie falls down. McFall back in for the Shockers, one of the leading free throw shooters in the conference.
He has a 91.1 free throw percentage. He is the leader in the conference.
Matt Clark with it to McFall. Nice feed to Clark, but nowhere to go. And Buie gets the rebound. He got caught amongst the trees.
Clark is the only true freshman on this Wichita State ball club. He is a very prolific high school player in Iowa.
Tyrese Buie with a horrible shot. And Southern is not doing anything on offense.
Basket by 32, CC
McFall gets the deuce off the glass, and it's 9-3 Shockers, and we've played over 8 minutes of this basketball game, and the Salukis have 1 field goal and 1 free throw.
That zone is really giving Southern fits when Wichita gets into it very steady. Southern seems like they have to throw up a 3. They're really not turning to the inside. There's another long pass.
It's a simple matchup zone. Southern's seen them before. Dearman scores and draws the foul from Grunvig. Willie Davis thought he was charged into. No call there, but Grunvig over the top. There's the play there, and here's Grunvig over the top, hacks him on the arm, and JD gets it to fall and will go for the 3-point play.
Willie Davis is a big guy, and it will take a lot to throw him down. A nice bit of acting there by Willie. But Jermaine Dearman was added to the most improved team in the Missouri Valley Conference, and a couple of people might think he had a better year last year. He seemed to be a little bit more consistent this year than he was last year. After being deleted from the starting lineup, he's really had his point production increase.
Misses the free throw badly, though.
That's one thing he's really struggling with, the free throw.
And it's 9-5. Shockers still lead it. Troy Mack back in, as is Terrell Benton. That's CC McFall. They will run the shot clock. Turgeon calls out play number 2. Benton, that's where he's at his best, but he misses that badly. And Cross was hammered from behind, and they're going to call it on Grunvig again. Adam Grunvig. No, they're going to call it on Troy Mack, I think.
Mack went over the back of Josh that time.
Yeah, okay. Fouls on Troy Mack. That's his first. 4th team foul on the Dogs. We're at our second media timeout. Shockers lead Southern. It's 9-5. Yes, do not adjust your screen. The score is 9-5. We have 11:08 left to go here in the first half. Wichita leading the Salukis. Arch Madness just a week away in St. Louis. Week and a half, rather, March 2nd through the 5th at the Savas Center in St. Louis, and that's what Southern's playing for tonight. Hopefully a top 4 finish in the Missouri Valley Conference. We need your support to have more basketball games on next year. And your support in the past years has been fantastic, and this year WSIU did more games than they ever did before, including 3 women's basketball games. So please call in your pledge at 1-800-745-9748. Kevin Boucher, where are you right now? Kevin is not with us right now. All right. So we'll go ahead with the basketball game. 11:09 left, 9-5. Shockers lead it.
SIU leads the series 32-29, and they have a sizable advantage at home. 19-8 they are inside the confines of SIU Arena.
Salukis have won 5 in a row over these Shockers, and that shows how far the Wichita program has dipped. This was the premier program in the late 70s, mid 80s in the Missouri Valley Conference, and truthfully, the league needs Wichita to be good. Dearman scores again.
Talking about the tradition, 5 MVC championships. They went to the NCAA tournament 7 times, 7 NIT appearances. They went to the Final Four back in 1965, the year after legendary coach Ralph Miller left the program. 5 All-Americans, Xavier McDaniel, Antoine Carr, Cliff Livingston, Cleo Littleton. So many great players have played at Wichita State. It really is an honor to play there, and the town just loves them. It's a great tradition in Wichita.
But as they have found out, you can only go so far on tradition as Troy Mack turns it over. I mean, they talk and talk and talk tradition, but in the last 11 years, they've been the worst team in the league.
I would say so, with Drake and Indiana State vying for that as well. Indiana State had all the history and success in the late 70s with Larry Bird, but Randy Smithson had a MTXE on the jerseys last year. Mental toughness, extra effort, and that's from his father, Gene Smithson. And I think Wichita State needs to bring that tradition back.
Ball was tipped out by Terrell Benton. The Dogs will keep it with 15 on the shot clock, and the way they've been getting it into Jermaine, I don't know what they're fooling around with it out on top of the key. Get it inside to the big boy.
Can you believe that half of the first half is over, and neither team is in double figures yet?
It's 9-7 Shockers.
This is something Wichita State's used to. To them, it's just another ball game.
7 on the shot clock. Williams from 3. Yes! Kent Williams nails the 3, and the Dogs lead it. It's 10-9.
Second leading scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference with 17.9 per ball game, and he also could step out and shoot the 3 like he did right there.
CC McFall, top of the key. That's that's Duke Chamba. Shot is no good, and the Dogs are killing him on the boards. Mells to Touche. Back to Kent. Wide open from 3. Yeah. He's got 2 threes, and now Mark Turgeon says, I've seen enough. And the Dogs lead it by 4. It's 13-9, and you can see the struggle and the frustration on Mark Turgeon's face when he can feel a game getting away from you. And Wichita's done nothing on offense in the last 6 minutes.
This is a guy that has won all his life. He was the only player, well, at the time, that went to 4 NCAA tournament appearances at Kansas, 4 consecutive. The only player to do that at Jacksonville State. He lost 1 year and then got him back to winning over 500 his last year there. So this he is not used to, and you better believe he's going to do everything he can to turn that around for next season. But right now, a 4-point lead is like a 10-point lead in this ballgame.
It was funny because Coach Weber, in talking to Mark in Bruce's first year, Southern started 1-4, and Bruce said, what the heck have I gotten myself into? And it turns around, and Bruce's turnaround was a lot quicker than Mark's will be, obviously, from the first year status. Bruce was 15-13 that first year, and people thought that he had worked miracles with the talent that he had and the talent that he was able to bring in, and then he won 20 last year and went to the NIT. So it can happen in a hurry. Tipped away, foul on Touche Harvey, and that's just the first foul on the Salukis.
Wichita's really trying to get Troy Mack involved in the ball game down low, and there Dearman was not there, and they noticed that. They got it down to Troy Mack, but he couldn't finish because he was fouled.
They get it into Benton. Michael Phillips with it, a lightning quick guard, and just throws it away. And that's what I'm talking about, Troy Mack. I wish I had his body. You know?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's
built like a
6'8",
rock.
he's physical, he's built like a rock, but he can do nothing on offense. He'll have a game every now and then, but and he was a dominant player in high school. Just nothing once he's been here at Wichita. Josh Cross, nice lob down to Dearman. Yes!
How many times have you harped on Jermaine to get an exclamation point there, and he finally did. He nearly brought the rim down with him, but a nice job by JD, and this 6-point lead is like a 16-point lead now.
You're right. The last several games, he would have laid that just over the rim with a nice little flip with the wrist, and that time he took it up with authority and pounded it home. Josh almost had his steal. CC McFall, 12 on the shot clock. Shockers can't even get a shot off. Touche gets a steal, and he's kneeling down. Here's Josh for the slam.
And this small gathering rises to their feet. The weather's kind of cold and chilly outside, but the action is really heating up for the maroon and white on the court. A nice last 2 minutes for SIU to take the 17-9 lead.
And how about getting a steal while you're on your keister and whipping it out to Josh for the slam? That's a nice steal and assist all sitting on your duff.
You know, Josh came up, he nearly got the steal. Phillips was dribbling the basketball. He tried to go fancy behind the back. And there is Tyrese on the floor, or rather Touche on the floor. And wow, look at what I got. I got the basketball.
The Dawgs trailed 9-3. They're on a 14-0 run over the last probably 3.5 minutes. Playing much better offensively, and they've picked it up. Although defensively, they've been okay the whole game. You hold a team to 9 points in about 12 minutes. That's pretty good basketball.
This is a quick ball game, too. 8:07 to go, 17-9.
No fouls. Here's the mess, the lob down to Jermaine, and with authority.
And that's what he needs to keep doing. When he was in the starting lineup, he did that a little more than he's done lately. I don't know if his confidence has been hurt or what to do that. He's been scoring a lot more lately as well, but JD needs to continue that.
CC McFall with it. He traveled. Oh, my goodness. Troy Mack with another turnover. We've come to the 7:45 mark of the first half. The Dawgs on a 14-0 run, and they now lead the Shockers. It's 17-9. The offense is picked up by Southern. They lead at 17-9. They're on a 14-0 run. We've got 7:45 left to go here in the basketball game. Southern has one more home basketball game. It's coming up Saturday evening against Evansville, a 5:05 start. We won't have that basketball game because of other network problems with Fox Sports, so they will be carrying it. But this is our last basketball game of the year, and we've really enjoyed bringing you Saluki basketball this year as well as in the years previous. So please call in your support and help us get as many games or more games on again in the 2001-2002 season. Call 1-800-745-9748. Any amount will be appreciated. Let's go to Rick Gregg. Rick, the Dawgs are on a big run.
Yes, they are, folks, but what I'm more worried about is what is a Shocker? Really, we always get attacked about what a Saluki is. It turns out that a football manager in 1904 conceived the name Wheat Shockers to put underneath the school's name on a poster. Well, the name was shortened over the years, and now they're the Shockers. Their mascot is Woo Shock, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Hoopson Area High School here in Illinois. Their team is the Corn Shuckers. Can't get much more weird than that. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Greg.
And seeing Woo Shock, wow, that I think, you know, aside from the Saluki, of course, I think Woo Shock is the best mascot in the Missouri Valley Conference. Why don't you come out to Arch Madness and see him?
Schrader for three, and the Dawgs are heating up inside the dome. It's 20-9.
Abel in the last ball game had 19 points in the game against Illinois State. I'm not going to mention what he had, and I'm not going to mention his shooting, but that's what Abel needs to consistently do. He's a good three-point shooter. Why not take a couple?
Phillips to Benton, and Bruce Weber wanted to walk, and Mack actually did. CC McFall, yes, gets it to go. He got their last basket. He's got 7 of their 11 points. That breaks a 17-0 run by the Dawgs. Schrader all alone, top of the key. No! Jermaine gets the rebound. That's the problem with a zone. It's so difficult to defensive rebound in a zone, and Jermaine's in a zone. He's got 8. Mack goes right into the double team. Oh, he's going to get the foul. It's going to be on Jermaine. Boy, I don't know about this one. Watch his feet. He shuffled him right there and goes right into the double team. Should have been a travel before the foul.
Terrell Benton at 6'5" is an interesting player because he could go guard, he could go inside, and Wichita State in the last couple of years has used him inside because Randy Smithson was a bruiser. He wanted everybody to play inside. But I think Benton next year is going to turn into more of a shooter. He can shoot the 3-bomb, and he can also shoot the mid-range jumper. So we'll see his progress next season.
I thought Terrell Benton was going to become a player like Nate Green at Indiana State. Same type of size, same type of build, has the quickness to guard you, can fill it up when he wants to, like Nate Green. He could take a game over when he wanted to. When it was his turn, he could do it. And I thought Benton could be that. And maybe under Turgeon's system next year, he'll be able to do that. But he just hasn't blossomed.
Well, at the end of Nate Green's career, he was surrounded with a couple more talented players, and frankly, Wichita State really doesn't have a whole lot of talent on the floor. They're a very physical, athletic team, but basketball talent, not sure about that.
Shockers back in the man defense. 10 on the shot clock. Belcher, top of the key, working on McFall. To Kent. Nice behind the back move jumper. Way too strong. Cross gets the rebound. Jump ball is going to go to Wichita on the alternate possession. Only 2 seconds on the shot clock, so it would not have mattered. Southern wouldn't have gotten a shot off. Willie Davis coming in for Troy Mack. Willie was battling a really bad ankle, and this is the first time he's been back, as we mentioned, for a few games. He's another unbelievable body, but look at him struggling getting up and down the floor just now.
And that kind of works with Wichita State's lack of offense. They need the time to have Willie come up the floor, and it just so happens that Wichita State's a slow-down offensive team.
Dawgs lead at 22-13, 5:48 left to go. Benton gets it to fall. Terrell Benton has 6.
And did that look like a Nate Green type shot to you? I think it did. That fall away from about 10 feet.
Kent just traveled. Turnover on the Salukis. That's just their 3rd turnover of the basketball game. Here's Kent. Watch the stutter, slip and slide, and down, and turn it over.
Wichita State has signed 4 players already to letters of intent. And they have a 6'8 player, a 6'10 player, and a 6'7 player. They have only 1 guard, so that leads you to believe that Terrell Benton's going to be a main cog next year, but they're going a lot more athletic and quick. So that's what you'll expect from Wichita State next year.
Matt Clark to McFall. Clark can hit threes. Not that time. Great board by Sylvester Willis.
And Willis, this is a test for him. You know, Willie Davis isn't that quick right now, but he's going to have to body up to get the boards.
Williams jacks another 3. Kent's 3 for 5. He's got 9 points from 3-point range.
And he's strung 2 29-point efforts together. That was his career high, and how about doing it twice? He did it against UNI.
Foul. Kent Williams on the foul.
Foul on 33, Kent Williams, his first personal foul.
4:55 left. Here's the pass.
On Southern Illinois.
Whip it over, and Kent right on the arm there. No question about that. 13 foul on Southern, so nowhere near the bonus situation. Matt Clark double team. Now he gets out of it. They have to start over at the top.
This home swing of 2 games really plays in the favor of Southern, with Wichita State and Evansville coming in, taking 2 out of 3 on the road in places that Southern historically doesn't play very well at the Uni Dome and at Drake. You got 2 of the wins.
Sylvester Willis, a foul in the back on Willie Davis.
11,
Be the 4th team foul.
First personal foul, the 4th team foul on the Salukis.
And the Shockers will take it underneath. It's a 10-point advantage for the Dogs. They trailed early 9-3. And went on a 17-0 run. Nice block by Sylvester again.
And O.J. Robinson wanted a foul call, but he wasn't going to get it here in Carbondale anyway.
Mells gets rid of it to Schrader.
Brandon's a player that needs to get himself back offensive minded. He's been gone too long in the offensive department, and that's resulted in a bunch of turnovers as well.
10 on the shot clock.
He's also been hampered by the injury, of course.
5 on the shot clock, and Southern turns it over. Brandon lost the dribble.
And there it just seemed like he was so hesitant testing that ankle out. I don't think he's still completely healthy, and I don't think he thinks that he's completely healthy yet.
Under 4 minutes to go. We're just ahead of a media timeout. Robinson gets it to fall, gets the layup, and it's 25-17 Dogs. We're up by 8.
One thing Wichita State isn't shy about doing is making that extra pass, but numerous occasions that extra pass leads to a missed layup.
That was almost a real pretty alley-oop. Abel gets his hands involved there and commits the foul for Schrader. That'll be foul number 1. And we've got 3:27 left to go in the half. The Dogs lead at 25-17. We'll be back after this. With With Russ Eisenstein, this is Mike Truth. 3:27 left to go in the first half. The Dogs lead the Shockers 25-17. Kent Williams has been lighting it up from three, and there's one of his threes from the corner. He's 3 out of 5 from three-point land. He's got 9 points in the game and helped Southern on their way to this 8-point lead thus far. Saluki basketball comes your way courtesy of WSIU, WUSI, but not without your support. 1-800-745 is the number we need you to call. We need to do more basketball games in the years to come. That's all we hear from everybody. We love the games. We love when you do the road games. Well, they're very expensive. So at 1-800-745-9748, you can help defray some of the cost and help the SIU students in the radio TV department get a lot of hands-on experience, which looks great on a resume and great for their futures in the job world when it comes to getting into the business. So 1-800-745-9748. Your pledge will certainly help us in that vein.
Southern right now is shooting 43% from the floor. Wichita State 35%. They're 7 of 20. And all those missed layups. You talk about the tradition of Wichita State basketball over the past 5 years. Another tradition there, missing layups.
And the Salukis probably started 1 out of 7, so they've really lit it up lately. They're probably 9 for their last 16, so they're shooting much better now. That's Troy Mack.
Wichita's led in 7 points from C.C. McFall. Southern is led by 9 points from Kent Williams, all of which are 3.
Down low, it's Mack. Can't get it to go.
Oh boy.
Troy Mack is 0 for 3 from the field. Every shot has been within about a 1.5 feet.
You know, and there are some players that just seem to last forever at a school. You remember Harstad and Gallagher at Creighton. It seemed like they were there for 10 years. And Troy Mack seems like he's been around forever, and he might have another year. So fans,
a lot of teams in the league would be happy to see him come back.
Sure, yeah. Figure about 5-6 missed layups in a ball game.
Chamba with it. Duke has not been able to spring for a 3 yet. Shockers are 1 out of 2, and McFall has the 1 make. Clark with it. 10 on the shot clock. Down to Mack again. Turn around. Reverse. No.
There's another one. And aside from Mack on the floor, Wichita State is very thin and small on the floor right now. And it's time for JD to kind of step up.
2:15 left to go. Clock running. Williams with it. They're in that matchup zone now. Grundvig up top. Dearman with it. 12 on the shot clock. JD, I hope you're not going to go to the hoop from there. 6 on the clock. Kent with it from the corner. 4-3. No. Rebound to Troy Mack.
That time Abel Schrader was working his darndest to try to get the basketball, but nice defense that time by Phillips on him.
Matt Clark, he was a recruit that Turgeon signed. Chamba was the first, and Chamba turned it over. That is turnover number 9 for the Shockers.
Southern now trails on the boards 14-13 as of the last time out.
Number 11, O.J. Robinson.
The Shockers are 1 of 2 from three-point land. Southern is 4 of 10.
Belcher back in for Brandon Mells. It's Belcher, Dearman, Buie, Schrader, and Williams. Shockers back in the man defense now. Williams working on Michael Phillips. Phillips is lightning quick. Nice feed down to Jermaine. Spin move, shot. No, but he draws the foul from O.J. Robinson, and O.J. doesn't like the call.
O.J. is definitely not going to like that call as Jermaine comes in, backs out. That spin move, which he likes so much, and that was so obvious of a foul. And O.J. Robinson said, are you going to call it on the other end? Maybe that's what they were talking about, because quite obviously it was a foul.
Jermaine at the free throw line is better in the conference, 62% compared to 59% overall for the season, and he's 1 for 2 now. Tonight he's got 9 points. In fact, all the Salukis who struggled at the line have done much better in conference play.
And talking about in conference, Jermaine has been taken out of the starting lineup in most of the conference season, and credit him going on the all-improved team to the coaching staff of SIU. I think they found his niche in the SIU program.
He misses the second. He's 1 out of 3 at the line tonight. Belcher hanging with Michael Phillips. Kick it out to Chamba, over to Clark. by Belcher, fouled by Matt Clark. And that's the 6th-team foul on the Shockers. First foul on Matt Clark.
And here, Kent Williams got by, or rather Clark got by Williams there. Good defense early on, and then nice hustle that time by Marcus Belcher. Newcomer to the program this year. He's really settled in, and you know, before the season there was much talk about who's going to be the point guard, and Marcus Belcher has come in, filled that role very nicely here at the end of the season.
His brother plays at Nebraska.
Cookie Belcher.
Cookie Belcher is his name. Tyrese for 3. That is an ugly looking shot. Grunvig. Oh, Jermaine had it, but he couldn't hang on to it, and it goes out of bounds. And Tyrese had some opposite spin going on that 3-point shot attempt.
Buie from about 16, 17 feet away has been just so solid this year for SIU. And the win against Northern Iowa, he had 11 points, 5 of 6 from the floor.
Shockers are going to hold for 1. 20 on the shot clock, or excuse me, the game clock. Shot clock is not even on. You see it at the bottom of your screen. Phillips is going to go one-on-one with Belcher and try to kick it to somebody. There's the pick. He's going to go to the hoop. Nice pass. And if that doesn't typify things.
Right there.
1.7 seconds left on the clock. O.J. Robinson had a jam. Easy if he catches that basketball. Belcher and the Dawgs will just run out the clock, leading it by 9 at halftime. So a very rough start for the Dawgs as they fell behind 9-3, but they went on a 17-0 run, took control of the basketball game, and now lead it semi-comfortably by 9. The score is 26-17, and they really came on strong in that middle section of the game.
Yeah, they did. It was a couple of Kent Williams threes that really triggered it. He hit 3 of them in the first half, and now we'll send it over to Rick Gregg with the head coach of SIU, Bruce Weber.
Thanks, guys. I've got head coach Bruce Weber here behind the shirts. And, Coach, it was a little rough in the beginning, but then Kent hits a couple 3-pointers, and the baskets aren't level anymore.
Well, we struggled scoring early. We had some open shots that just didn't go down. Then Kent hit those big threes there, 2 in a row there, got us going. We got a couple steals. We played pretty good defense. We held them to 17. We just haven't been able to hit some shots. Tyrese has missed some ones that normally he makes. We did get JD gave us a lift, you know, getting some inside scoring. We got to get more inside scoring, got to get to the free throw line in the second half and play the same type of defense. So they're going to hang in there. They're very good defensively. They don't give you many easy looks.
Now, I heard that in practice you worked hard on rebounding. How do you think they've done so far?
Well, we've done all right defensive rebounding, but we got to do better offensive rebound. That's where we got to get some points, especially when you don't shoot the ball well. So that is a key stat for us. When they're good rebounding team, but when we rebound, we're a very good basketball team.
All right, thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead, Coach Bruce Weber. Back to you guys.
All right, Rick. He said it right. That middle portion of the section is where they took control. Dawgs lead it 26-17 over the Shockers. We'll be back after this. .26-17 is our score. Mike Trude and Russ Eisenstein with you. Rick Gregg is our sideline reporter. Kevin Boucher is alongside as well. We're happy to bring you the basketball game tonight. Here's one of the Salukis threes. It's a great look from the corner for Abel Schrader, and he hit all 5 of his attempts at the Northern Iowa basketball game when he scored 19 points, and that was a huge, huge game for, as Coach Weber said, this time of the year is when the seniors have to step up, and if it's not Schrader, it's Cross, and if it's not Cross, it's Schrader, and the two of them have been a pretty good tag team all year long.
Abel right now is 6th in the Missouri Valley Conference in 3-point percentage. You mentioned his breakout game at Northern Iowa. That came after an 0-for-4 performance from 3-point land against Illinois State, and he missed some big-time threes as well. Many times in that second half, Southern had a chance to get back into the ball game, but they just couldn't do it because Abel missed a couple of wide-open threes.
What does 52-46 remind you of?
52-46.
That was the score for about 6 minutes in that Illinois State game when
right.
Both teams were stuck on that score. I'll remember that score forever and ever now because neither team could get anything done. That's when Southern could have made a little bit of a run and at least gotten into the game where, I mean, truthfully, they never got back into the basketball game once Illinois State had that 13-2 run to open the half.
And at Redbird Arena, you're not going to get it done when you can't convert on those key possessions.
No question. 26-17 is the score here. Clock got out of bounds by O.J. Robinson. The Dawgs will keep it, and that pass was tipped and went right into Abel's hands for a layup, but Robinson over the top was able to knock it out of bounds. Bruce Weber yells out, finish it. So he wants Southern to score on its first opportunity. Abel, ooh, he had a wide open three.
I think the crowd wanted him to shoot that three as well. key parts of the ball game early on in the ball game, first 5 minutes and the first 5 minutes after halftime.
Charging foul on Sylvester, and that's what he's known for, is his charging fouls. And watch it again.
That was a nice long lead pass to Abel, a nice strong dribble drive towards the hoop. He kind of, I think he stepped on somebody's shoe there. It kind of got him off balance. He could have pulled from 10, but instead drove all the way down.
And Phillips did kind of lean a little bit into the charge call, but Sylvester's got to be more under control going down the lane like that. He's not going to get that call very often.
Nice bounce pass.
But they can't finish.
How many layups are they going to miss in a ball game?
Belcher. Marcus backs it out to Schrader. Dawgs lead it by 9, trying to get off to a better start than they did in the first half. Schrader wide open in the corner. 4-3, no. Kent fouled over the back by Michael Phillips. And the Dawgs get a new shot clock.
Phillips is 5'10", and he can soar. And that time, he just happened to do it when Kent had good position for a rebound. Key for Southern, don't let Wichita State get you like they did early on in the ball game. Slow down style, and that's really affected Southern in this game, and you got to break away from that at the beginning of this second half.
Troy Mack with a good defensive play, face guarding Willis, unable to catch the ball, and Southern turns it over. So they still lead it by 9. That's Michael Phillips. Talk about a 2-year career that's gone very fast is Michael Phillips, as he was hurt for a lot of the season a year ago after getting injured in the Southern game at Wichita. Robinson again draws the foul from Willis, and Sylvester has not had a very good last 30 seconds, and Josh Cross took one in the nose as well. Watch the drive here. Nice feed. Cross took the elbow right there.
And it looked like OJ was kind of losing the basketball as he was going up. He saw the contact coming, and maybe some blood on the chin of Josh Cross there.
There's Josh. He got an elbow after Robinson shot the basketball. He looks okay, and he's going to stay in. And Robinson will go to the free throw line. OJ just a 56% free throw shooter, 53 for 95 on the season. And that says something when your big guy has only been to the line 95 times.
Yeah, CC McFall is the leading free throw shooter in the league. Wichita gets in there at about 4th in the league in free throw shooting. So after the 91%, it kind of falls off after there.
(26-18). Shockers score first here in the second half, and Robinson makes them both. He's got 6 points. They've only got 3 players who've scored in the game. Southern 19 points. Excuse me, Russ.
Southern really needs to try to pick up this tempo in the ball game. Offensively, they need to hurry it up. They do have the lead by 7, but to get a convincing lead, they need to shoot it.
And there you go, Josh Cross. As Troy Mack was just buried inside, double teaming Dearman. Cross came around on a pick and was wide open from 18 and knocked it down. Dawgs lead it by 9. 3 no good. CC McFall corrals it finally. Boy, Terrell Benton had a great look at that 3, and it went down but didn't stay down. 26 on the shot clock. To the wing it goes, and McFall. McFall again.
Classic Wichita basketball, very slow offensively.
Dawgs come down with the rebound as Troy Mack misses again from short range. JD with it up top to the wing, and Josh gets, oh, he traveled. He had Mack up in the air, but another turnover for Southern.
Josh does that quite a bit. He has a nice, strong shot fake. And if you're going to be a guard, you got to have a strong shot fake, and some forwards have it as well. And Josh there got his eyes wide open. He saw the open avenue to the bucket, but he stepped.
Schrader gets a hand on it. Phillips down low to Mack. There's the double team. Terrell Benton takes it in. Nobody came over to pick up a charge, and it's 28-21.
You know, Wichita's just going to stay around. We mentioned early on in the ball game, and that 11-game losing streak, 6 of those ball games were decided in single figures. So a lot of things could have gone Wichita's way, but it's a beaten Shocker team right now.
They're back in the matchup zone. Cross again, the jumper good, and they've got to come out of that zone. to guard Josh Cross. They're letting Josh just float around from 16 feet, and he's been deadly this year from that range. He worked extremely hard in the summer on his mid-range jumper.
And when he hits that mid-range jumper, more times than not, SIU's going to win the ball game.
McFall, no. Cross with the board. Here comes Belcher on transition to Schrader. Abel jacks up a real bad shot. McFall to Benton. Abel grabs him twice. Oh, and he gets a continuation.
That basket should not count.
And he's going to count it. You've got to be kidding me.
The grab came very early on. It's just a matter of where.
Which foul are you going to call? He fouled him 3 times.
And the official knows where, the contact was made enough to call a foul. So, in his head, it was a continuation play, and the bucket counts. But to us, it looked like a foul at the top of the key there.
7-point lead. Benton makes it. Has a chance to get his 11th point. He's got 10.
Boy, Mike, does this program have Randy Smithson's thumbprint all over it? Smithson was a star player at Wichita State, came back there to coach, and all these players are his type of players, just bruisers, real strong players. And when you bring in a guy like Turgeon, that's completely not his style of player. He wants more sleek, fast, quicker players.
Here's where Dearman, they're back in the man defense. Jermaine, wide open. Marcus Belcher, Terrell Benton fell asleep. And Belcher got his first bucket of the game.
And O.J. Robinson needed to recognize that. He needs to look around. He can't be just stranded there in that zone. He needed to step down and guard underneath the bucket.
O.J. with it now, working on Josh Cross. Bounce pass, out of bounds. Dawgs get it. 15:42 left to go in the ball game. We're coming to our first media timeout of the second half. It's 32-24. The Dawgs lead the Shockers. We'll be back. Welcome back to the basketball game. The Dawgs lead it 32-24 over the Shockers. Again, we've told you many times that this is our last game. Here's the nice shot down low to Marcus Belcher. It's our last broadcast of the season, and we would certainly like to have many more games for you next year, and you can help us out in that regard by calling 1-800-745-9748 with your pledge. All of your money helps defray some costs that it does cost to do these basketball games. It is very expensive, especially to do the road games. So 1-800-745-9748 will help tremendously if you can do so tonight. Thank you very much for your pledge. Rick Gregg is our roving reporter. Where are you, Rick?
I'm over here, guys. I've got 2 special guests with me. This is John. This is Nikki. They're senior members of the Salukis Pep Band, and we'll start with you, Nikki. What's your favorite memory from the Pep Band?
Well, let's see. I remember we went to Wichita one time, and actually to watch the Dawgs play the Shockers at home. And we drove all the way there just to watch the game and to cheer on the team and have a good time. And it came back. It was a great trip. We had a great time. It was really awesome.
And John, what about you? What's your favorite part of being in the band?
Favorite part of being in the band is coming out to support the team. Get to do what I like, play the trumpet. Going to MVC tournament, supporting the team there as well.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Back to you.
The band's so important here at home for the Salukis, especially on a night like tonight when it's not a full crowd. Kent with a runner in the lane. It won't go down. Dawgs still lead it by 8.
Southern shooting 43% from the floor. Wichita State shooting 32%. Southern led 9 points apiece by Dearman and also by Kent Williams.
Terrell Benton gets a nice pick on the wing. Can't get it to fall. The Dawgs get the rebound, and back they come.
Benton leads Wichita State with 11 points.
Touche Harvey with it on the wing.
On the boards, tied up at 19.
Around the horn it goes to Belcher on the right wing.
Turnover. Go ahead.
Touche from 3 down to Jermaine. He gets stopped. 15 on the shot clock for the Dawgs.
Turnover-wise, Wichita State has 12 and Southern has 8.
Touche will shoot it. No good. Kent gets the rebound and scores. Give a lot of that credit, though, to Josh Cross over the top.
And O.J. Robinson just turned around and said, oh, gee, I probably should have had that rebound. But Josh came flying in, and then Kent just kind of picked his pocket, laid it up and down.
Willie Davis gets picked by Marcus Belcher. And now he gets picked by Terrell Benton. McFall, no. Boy, the refs are letting him play tonight, folks. Robinson can't get it to go again, no. But Willie Davis cleans it up.
I think that took all the energy out of Willie Davis. That 5-foot run after the turnover and then jumping up a couple times. I think he's done for the next 2 plays. How about we hammer it down to him?
Willie's first 2 points of the ball game. He is puffing hard.
He's a big boy.
Jermaine, top of the free throw line. Back to Touche. And Southern will run the shot clock down to 0 again. Touche with it to Kent. It's under 10. Kent gets the pick. Rises. No. Tip slam by Dearman. Wow.
Nice position that time by JD, and he just elevated so quickly to grab that rebound. He got a ward against offensive goaltending there, but it was outside of the cylinder, not over it, and he's flushed it down. Nice exclamation point by JD.
Foul on one of the Shockers.
I think they're going to get Willie Davis.
Or O.J. Robinson, one of the two. Let's see. It is Willie, his second personal foul. Here's the replay on Kent's. And watch Dearman. Oh, I think that was still on the cylinder.
You're right.
But we'll take it. The referee didn't think so. Again, a very quick basketball game. 13-10, clock running here in the half. Total fouls 5 in the second half. Total fouls in the first half was 10 combined. Buie out at 19-9 to Touche. Beats Shamba to the wing. Oh, he had it. All he had to do was lay it up over the rim, but he missed too strong. CeCe McFall with a great pass and a block by Touche Harvey.
Nice job by Southern to ward against the transition bucket by Wichita State. It doesn't happen too often. There was a long bounce pass, and whoa, what an elevation to block that basketball away.
14th block of the year for Touche. Would you believe he leads the team in blocks? Second to Jermaine.
Seeing the way he jumps, I'll believe it.
Dearman has 18 blocks. Harvey now with 14. Abel gets his third foul. And the Shockers will be shooting free throws when they get rid of their huddle.
The Missouri Valley Conference traditionally is a league, and even dating back to the 50s and 60s, is a league that the officials, you know, let things go a lot of times. And now with the rules in the NCAA, they're calling a lot more fouls. But I think this tonight was a classic Missouri Valley Conference grudge match. So point-wise, probably not. But the fouls aren't too many of them. A very physical game tonight.
Matt Clark has hit 7 out of 8 free throws this year, making 8 out of 9.
He was on a slew of all-state teams in Iowa. He was the first recruit for Mark Turgeon.
Williams in for Schrader, who goes down with 3 personal fouls. He's got 2 this half. Clark trying to bring the Shockers within 8, and he does. Dawgs lead it 36-28. Low scoring affair. It's typical for the Shockers. The Dawgs generally score better at home, but I don't. They're going to have to go a stretch to get 70 tonight.
And they scored a lot more at the beginning part of the season. I think scheduling-wise, they matched up against teams that scored a lot higher. Long Beach State and Ball State, 2 teams that score bunches. Southern got up into the hundreds against them.
A lot of what-ifs this season as Williams goes in the lane. Can't get it to go, and Buie gets hammered by Shamba or Grundvig, or take your pick. You look back at the UIC, the SEMO games were winnable. There's getting hammered by Shamba, but the worst one of all was the game in Hawaii against Troy State that really hurt.
Yeah, that baffles the mind. Troy State under 500 this year, a program that's trying to rebuild. They used to run a lot a couple years ago. They've stopped doing that. Another loss as well that kind of makes you scratch your head is a loss to UIC up in Chicago. Not a lot of people there. Southern traditionally does play well in the Windy City, but for whatever reason that day, the Flames, who aren't very good this year, got the Dawgs.
Williams gets the 3, but credit to Shea Harvey with a perfect feed, hitting Kent just as he wanted the basketball to go up to 3. Dawgs lead it by 11.
It's getting close to desperation time for Wichita State.
Knocks it out of bounds, Dearman does, and Wichita will have the basketball when we come back. 11:47 on the clock. Dawgs lead it by 11. 39-28. We will return. (39-28) the score. 11:47 left to go in this basketball game. We would love to bring you many more basketball games next year on WSIU and WSI. First, we watch Kent's 3 from long range. Williams now with 14 points, just 3 points under his average. There's a good shot at Coach Weber going over some strategy. Again, we would love to have many, many basketball games for you next year, and you can help us out by calling 1-800-745-9748 to help defray some of the costs for the games next year. It's a big night in the Missouri Valley Conference this final weekend. Games tonight, games Saturday, and games Monday. The war on 74 tonight will probably decide second place as Illinois State is at Bradley. Creighton with big games. I mean, just these last three are so exciting.
Yeah, Creighton is at UNI tonight. Drake in Southwest Missouri, Evansville and Indiana State, Wichita here in Illinois State and Bradley. Taking a look at the top of the conference standings. Drake and Northern Iowa are really going to play a factor as to who wins this conference, because Creighton plays UNI and Drake, Illinois State plays UNI, Bradley plays Drake. Now the war on 74 is going to weed one of those two teams out tonight. Creighton has UNI, Drake, and Southwest Missouri, 2 on the road, 1 at home. Illinois State on the road twice at Bradley and Northern Iowa, and then they play these Shockers to close out the year, and Bradley takes on Illinois State tonight, Wichita State on the road, and then Drake. But people still believe that Creighton's going to head to St. Louis as the #1 team in the Valley.
I think Creighton's going to win their last 3 games and win them easily and be the team to beat. And maybe Doug Elgin will do a proclamation as Buie hits the jumper to Dana Altman and say, hey, losing the second round or losing the championship game, because we'd love to get 2 teams in. And Creighton this week was 26th or 25th in the RPI. They're going unless they have a total meltdown this last week. And it would be great. It's unfortunate we have to say that if they would lose to get 2 teams in, because otherwise it's just one team.
That's where the Valley is, and a lot of mid-level conferences have to deal with it. And the Valley has to contend with the Mid-American Conference and the Midwestern Collegiate Conference as well for getting teams into the tournament. And so many times, you know, a Selection Sunday, you wonder, well, is the committee going to reward us, have 2 teams, maybe 3, or just the one, which has happened so often?
The problem this year is the league is not as good as it has been in the past, so teams are beating the heck out of each other. And when you have 6-7 losses in the league, and like Bradley's non-conference schedules, as Touche fouls over the top.
Losing at Georgia State.
But Georgia State is a good basketball team. But as we see the foul by Touche over the back on this one right there as he fouls Troy Mack, the league is down this year, so they don't warrant the 2. I mean, nobody's been a dominant team except for Creighton. And Creighton's the only team that deserves the automatic bid.
And I think Creighton, after getting the win against Wyoming at home, that really solidified them, and I think they're going to be in regardless. You look at Illinois State, 2 games that are going to play in the favor for them. They didn't lose that bad at Kansas. They went there, they played a pretty good game against the Jayhawks, and at Fall Allen Fieldhouse, it's very tough to play. They went up to Central Michigan and beat Central Michigan. And while Central Michigan is at the top of the MAC West, they're another team that is crying for an at-large berth. And the Chippewas are playing really well this year, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the MAC, who comes out of the MCC, and who comes out of the Valley, because they are the premier mid-major conferences in the country.
Troy Mack fouls Dearman underneath. The problem for Illinois State, losing at home to Drake.
And that hurts.
It killed them.
Watching that ball game, it wasn't anything that Illinois State did wrong. Drake just answered every time.
You're absolutely right.
And that was their best game of the year in my book, and they really deserve to win the game. And don't think that Kurt Kanaski won't get a couple of votes for Coach of the Year, because he's doing wonders with the Magnificent 7.
How about Kent Williams from downtown? He's got 5 threes, 17 points on the night. Dawgs lead it by 11 again, and Wichita just can't get any closer than 8. Kicking is Kent, so a new shot clock. Matt Clark in, and now O.J. Robinson comes back in for Matt Grunvig. And I think that lost Coach of the Year honors for Richardson, and I think it lost any chance of them getting an at-large bid. So it was a double whammy. Foul on Touche Harvey again, holding. 7th team foul on the Dawgs, so the Shockers will be in the bonus for the final 10 minutes of the basketball game. And watch Kent from long range. Boom.
He was way out there, too.
He was.
What's amazing about that Drake game is that they're the 2nd team in the conference to win at ISU this year. Redbird Arena, definitely a tough place to play. Southern found that out, and it's historically been a very tough place to play in the conference.
Brandon Mel's bringing it up. Dawgs lead by 11. Want to put this one out of reach, and they can do so with a pretty good run here. They had a 17-0 run in the first half. Haven't been able to get off a run here in the second half yet. Dearman, he can work on Troy Mack.
Troy can't believe it. but he kind of bodied him up a little too much. He stepped into JD, and that's where the foul came.
5th foul on the Shockers, and there's Troy's pushing him right there. Boy, that's a tough one. Troy didn't do anything out of the ordinary that any big man wouldn't try to do to another big man, but got called for the foul, and you get those at home. Buie, top of the key. Tyrese has 4 points, 2 in each half.
Seeing a lot more cutting right now by Southern, probably stressed in the huddle.
Kent from 3, yeah.
Oh boy.
He's got 20. Can he get 29 again? I want him to get 30 just once, as Mark Turgeon calls a timeout as the Dogs have gone up by 14, 47-33. And Kent, with 3 good games, can get over the 1,000-point mark for his career, and he's back at 22 feet there as he buries that one. He's on fire right now, and he could conceivably get over 1,000 points this year.
He already has passed a legend in SIU basketball, Walt Frazier, who in 2 seasons got over close to that 1,000-point barrier, and Kent Williams is 40th in SIU scoring, and what a career we're going to see from this kid. Mind you, this is only his 2nd year in Carbondale. He's got 2 more to go. He's not going to be a player that's going to leave for the NBA draft. He's going to be here for a while, and mark my words, he is going to be a legend here in Carbondale.
No question. And Kent, look at the little dancer there.
Don't you dance like that, Mike? he taught you a couple things.
I did when I was 16 or 17, but I never danced at all when I was that age, that's for sure. But Kent has a chance, and I know it's a stretch, to become the Salukis' all-time leading scorer. And he's got to pass Chico Vaughn, and that's a tall order, because Chico averaged well over 30 points per game, but he only did it in 3 years as Kent buried that 3.
We talk about everybody else's tradition on the broadcast, and the Valley is so rich in it, but it is here in Carbondale.
Oh, no question.
The tradition is just so rich, you need to brush it away with your hand from your face, because the NIT championship team, Rich Herron's run in the 90s, getting 3 straight appearances in the NCAA tournament.
Never been done before or again.
Josie Merriweather, Greg Sterick, who, of course, we send our well wishes to and hope he recovers very quickly, but the tradition is just so great here at Southern, and Bruce Weber and the rest of SIU really needs to stress that and get a lot of it back here in Carbondale.
McFall cleans up the miss as Mells and Dearman bump into each other on the rebound, and Bruce Weber will take that anytime with 2 guys going hard after the board. The Salukis lead it by 12. We take the tradition for granted here because a lot of us have lived it, and to us now we've come to expect it. But when you look at the Saluki program in contention with the others in the league, we're right up there with them.
Sure, you know, I grew up in it a little bit. My dad went to school here and heard about a lot of great games when he was a student here, and how this place used to be packed so often. You know, those upper rings here at the arena, you were just packed in so tight like sardines to cheer on the Dogs, and it'd be nice to have it back here again.
Touche, nice to Brandon. No, off. That wasn't really close, and CC McFall comes down. Nice pass to Benton. Draws the foul and scores.
Got enough spin on the shot there to have it kiss off the glass.
Fouls on Kent Williams, his 2nd personal foul. Dogs lead it by 10. Shockers have been within 7, I think, this half. Maybe 8 was the closest. And this was a really nice feed down to Terrell Benton.
Nice recognition and good position down low, and Benton got enough of that kiss and spin off the glass to get it down. He is their leading scorer.
Cross, Schrader, Willis in for the Salukis for Harvey, Buie, and Jermaine Dearman. There's Touche. But a great offensive rebound on Southern's last possession, but Southern could not convert. And so Benton will go to the free throw line with a chance to finish the 3-point play. He's got 15 points. He's had a quiet game. Had 6 in the first half, has 9 here in the second half. Shockers only have 37 points, and he's got almost half of them at 15. 8:05 left in the ballgame. Dogs play Evansville Saturday here at the arena. It's a 5:05 start.
That will be on Fox Sports. And then another big game to close out the year at Indiana State. You know, these are 2 big home games. You take 2 out of 3 on the road in that tough road stretch, and you come back, you got to take care of your home court. You know, Southern has a lot of things that have to happen for them to get to 3rd, but 4th is a nice finish for SIU, conquering that mid-season lull that they had this year.
Mel's with it, top of the key, 15 on the shot clock.
Then you look towards next year, and you're going to have another big body down low, and I can't wait to see Roland Roberts in this gym playing in an actual game. He is going to be a force, folks, in this league that's so guard-laden. He's a powerful player. We'll see him next year.
Clark to McFall. Oh, almost an air ball. Barely caught the backside of the rim. Willis. Short jumper, no, didn't go. Cross with a rebound, fouled from behind. Real nice play by Josh Cross. Only the 6th team foul, though, on the Shockers. Here's Sylvester. Couldn't square up, and Josh with inside position. Fouled over the top. And we've come to our 3rd media timeout of the basketball game in the second half. 7:17 left to go. Salukis 47, Wichita 38. We've got 7:17 left to go in the ball game. 47-38 is the score. The Salukis lead. It was 26-17 at halftime, so they've maintained that 9-point advantage. We hope you will maintain your support of Saluki basketball tonight, throughout the summer, and into next year as we try to bring you more and more basketball games. 11 games were telecast on WSIU, WSI this year, and I know the folks over at the radio television department and the broadcasting system would love to continue that and do even more games next year, but to do that, we need some support. 1-800-745-9748 can help us get that done, and we appreciate everything that you can do. Rick Gregg, where are you? What do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Tonight's game has been a little bit of an anomaly for the Salukis. Traditionally, they start and finish halves really well and have lulls in the middle that allow the opponents to get back in. That hasn't happened tonight. It's been the exact opposite. Beginning and end have been very slow, but in the middle, they've been able to hold their own. And I got a score for you guys. I don't know if you have it yet, but Bradley leads Illinois State by 10 at the half.
I had a feeling that the Braves would get the Redbirds. Sylvester tries for a big slam. Fouled on the play. He'll go to the free throw line, and he's got to make that. He's got to get that with 2 hands down and make sure he scores. So the Braves leading the Redbirds.
33-23. I heard the score at the half, or rather 32-22. One of the two, a 10-point advantage. And you have to wonder if Illinois State is a beaten ball club after losing to Drake at home. I'm sure they had to think about that one, and hearing about how they were the team to break the streak for Drake and the conference losing streak and all. That's a big one tonight, and if Bradley gets it, they can solidify their spot for number 2 in the league.
And Bradley can play some defense at home. Dawgs lead it by 10, 48-38, as Sylvester Willis gets his first point of the basketball game.
You know, it's a 10-point lead, but in a grand scheme of it, it's close to 20. Well, maybe I should be quiet a little bit. It's now down to 7.
It's a 7-point lead as the net gets log jammed up at the top by the rim. Mel's out, Belcher in, and this is where the Dawgs need to take care of the basketball and get some points.
They're calling that a 2.
Just a 2, okay.
But the point that I was trying to make before Clark interrupted me there was that a 10-point lead in this type of ball game is huge, but now Southern needs to play under control. They need to protect it.
Clark draws the foul from Willis. So Matt Clark will go to the free throw line. He's already 2 for 2, and he's got a chance for 2 more. And all of a sudden, they can get within 6 if he can convert both of these charity tosses.
And what Wichita State's doing now, they've really abandoned the offense 17 feet out, and they're driving towards the bucket. Everybody's driving, and they're creating fouls against Southern.
Well, every guard in the conference has driven on the Salukis this year. I'm surprised it took the Shockers 36 minutes or 30 minutes to figure it out. Willis goes down with 3 fouls. Dearman back in. Clark hits them both. He's got 6 points now, and it's all of a sudden 48-42. Grundvig out. Willie Davis back in, and the Dawgs need a bit of a run here. They led by 11 just a few minutes ago.
Hasn't been much to cheer about tonight. The crowd's been silent just because the game hasn't been all that exciting.
Williams working on McFall. Kent probably feels he can nail that one tonight. To the wing, and Schrader. Kent wide open from 3, too strong. Rebound, Dearman draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line, and Southern's doing a much better job on the offensive boards, which is exactly what Coach Weber talked about. The Dogs now have 10 offensive rebounds. Dearman, great position, fouled over the top.
Southern had the advantage 48-38 in rather check that they were down in rebounds to Wichita State 30-29 now. Wichita State shooting 33% for the ball game. Southern shooting 41% for the game.
And Jermaine hits a big free throw. He's got 12 points now.
Kent Williams has 20 to lead Southern. 16 points coming from Terrell Benton. He leads the Shocks.
See if Jermaine can put the Dogs back up by 8. Touche Harvey will check in if Jermaine can knock this free throw down. He's short. Rebound knocked around, and the Dogs do get in credit. Abel Schrader with a nice play.
He did about everything that he could do to get the basketball free. He slapped it with his hand. He kicked it with his shoe. And nice job by Abel that time to keep the ball in Southern's area of the floor.
Kent to the corner. There's Jermaine. Double teamed. Kick it out to Abel. 10 on the shot clock. Oh, now he calls the charge. Long after he falls down, he calls the charge.
Nice bit of acting that time by Phillips. And he sold it.
But it's 4 fouls on Abel.
When you dip that shoulder, more times than not, you're going to get the foul called against you.
So the Shockers trail by 7. If they knock down a 3, we got a brand new basketball game.
They haven't exactly been deft at shooting the 3 ball tonight.
Michael Phillips. Almost stripped. Good play by Touche. Way out to Willie Davis. They're going to have to reset things. Shot clock is down to 10. C.C. McFall. O.J. Robinson scores. 5-point game, 49-44. Shockers are hanging around, gang. Williams with it. Kent on the night, 7 for 17 from the floor, 6 threes.
This is where Wichita State can really low you down. They keep it so low in scoring, and then when they start to come offensively, they can cut it down to a 5-point lead.
Oh, that was a sweet move. He had nowhere to go, and he found a crack.
Beautiful finger roll on the low block that time, and a nice job by Kent.
He's got 22 points. Benton. No, that was a big miss. And Dearman controls the rebound. That was huge.
Other scores in the Valley. Drake leads Southwest Missouri State 57-52. Creighton leads Northern Iowa 44-38. And Indiana State, I believe it could be a final.
Should be
over
a final.
Evansville, 78-52. So the Sycamores get the win tonight.
Joshua Cross to Kent. Short, blocked. Thought he got nailed on the elbow. No call. Benton. No. Rebound to Belcher. A little bit of a push-off. No call. And we're under 4 minutes to go.
The fans wanted a little bit of contact, and I guarantee you Willie Davis really didn't intend to foul back there. He's just slowly running up the floor. He doesn't have any
This is not a media timeout. Bruce Weber called a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. It's just a 30-second timeout. Dogs lead it by 7, 51-44. I am not shocked at all by that Drake score. They're playing at Southwest Missouri and beating Southwest Missouri. And there's that little crack we talked about with Kent. Just able to knife in between O.J. Robinson and C.C. McFall for the bucket, which put the Dogs up by 7.
I want you to move Kent to run. JD, opposite of Abel. Opposite of Abel.
Called it a double loop, so let's see how it plays out. What do you think of that Drake SMS score? I'm not surprised by that at all.
I'm not either. Drake is really hitting their stride, and Luke McDonald is a player that's fighting for Freshman of the Year, or rather, yeah, he is a freshman coming from Texas. Freshman of the Year honors. He is one of the top 3-point shooters for a freshman in the conference's history. And Drake, credit again Kurt Kanaski for making a mountain out of nothing in Des Moines this year.
And Troy Mack fouls Jermaine Dearman. It's exactly what Bruce Weber wanted. So Southern will go back to the free throw line and shoot free throws, and Jermaine can put the Dawgs back up by 9. And Troy Mack, well, Troy had 3 points on that one three-point play, fouled out of the basketball game with 3:42 left to go. 2 turnovers, 1 assist, 1 block, 24, 25 minutes.
And Troy, if he graduates, will be around next year.
It's been his MO. So Dearman has a chance to put the Dawgs up by 8 and 9 if he can convert some free throws here. No good. Cross with the tip. No. Oh, Josh almost had that one. So it's a 7-point game, under 3.5 minutes to go. To the wing, it's McFall. Southern's kept McFall off the free throw line, which is huge. And Benton just threw that ball right to Kent Williams.
They have not taken care of the basketball on key possessions tonight. Now we're under 5 minutes to go, and Southern has a 7-point lead. Every possession now is important for Wichita. And Mike, it just looks like they're nervous offensively when they know they have a key possession. They've given it to Southern a couple of times.
15 on the shot clock. Clock running down to the 3-minute mark. Williams with it. He'll... No, reverse, no good. He was a little bit out of his league in that one. McFall draws the foul. Weber wanted a charge or a walk or something.
Well, he wasn't going to get the walk there. There were big steps that time by McFall.
Schrader fouls out on the play. And Abel only with 4 points.
1-2, you can do that. And then the running one-hander.
I don't know where he was hit. I really don't, and Abel doesn't know either. But Abel fouls out of the basketball game, just 4 points, all in the first half. Hit a 3 and got a free throw.
His second to last game here at SIU Arena, the senior from Oakville. Came on shooting in the middle of the year from three-point land. He's done a nice job fitting into that role. Player that will be missed here at SIU.
CC McFall gets to shoot 2, and he is just automatic. He's 50 out of 55 this season from the line now.
Leads the conference with that 91% from the stripe.
He can cut it to 5, and he does. And we have come to our final media timeout of the basketball game. 2:51 left. It's a ball game, 51-46. The Dawgs in front. 2:51 left to go in this one. It's not a nail biter yet, but the Shockers hanging around, trailing only by 5. The Dawgs lead at 51-46, and they're going to have to make free throws in the final time here to win basketball games. And this is our final basketball game that we'll be bringing you this year on WSIU WSI. And please call in your pledge. You still have some time. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in this one. 1-800-745-9748. And you can help us do more and more and more basketball in the years to come. And we really appreciate your help. 1-800-745-9748.
You mentioned free throw shooting. Southern Illinois on the year is 68% from the stripe. In conference are at 66%. And obviously the player that you want to have the basketball, if it comes down to that, is Kent Williams, who is an 82% free throw shooter.
And the Shockers, with 2:51 left, they can just play good defense here and hope that Southern doesn't score. You don't have to start fouling when you're down 5 until there's about a minute left in the game. Southern's got to get it in. And they do. And Kent has it now. And I don't think Wichita's going to foul here on purpose anyway. They're going to try to play some good defense, stop the Salukis. And Southern, there's the double team to Belcher.
Rebounds are even up at 33. Southern shooting 39%. Wichita State shooting 34. Southern has led 22 points by Kent Williams and 12 from Jermaine Dearman. 16 points from Terrell Benton. The lead
10 on the shot clock. Jermaine fall away. No. Rebound to Michael Phillips, and here comes Wichita. They can cut it to 3 or 2. Dearman to Grunvig, and that hurts. Grunvig hits it. They're within 3.
Wichita State won on the road in the conference one time last year. They haven't won on the road in the league this year. And you don't want to have it happen to you, much like Illinois State didn't want Drake to win. You don't want to have it happen at this point of the year.
Kent from the corner. Didn't want to jack up the 3 that quickly.
Good defense by Phillips.
And he's got to call timeout. 14 on the shot clock. 1:48 left on the game clock. And the Shockers, we said it, they hang around, and the Dawgs have not done much offensively the last 3 minutes because they were up by 11. 44-33 was the score at one time, and the Shockers have outscored them 13-7, 15-7 in that stretch to only trail by 3.
Phillips really was a catalyst for that timeout taken by SIU. Real good defense. One of the better defensive players in the league, actually, Michael Phillips. Southern right now, wow, how do you let it get to this point? We talked about, you know, the 10-point lead and 11-point lead is what it got up to for SIU. And then you let Wichita State with their stagnant offense get back into the ball game. Right now, you got to take care of the basketball. You need a point. You need a bucket on this possession.
Williams will trigger it. Gets it into Marcus Belcher. 12 on the shot clock. Kent's coming around a bunch of screens, and Josh lost it out of bounds. Turnover on the Salukis.
Duke Samba is the leading three-point shooter on this ball club. He's not on the floor. Wonder if he's going to get brought back into the ball game.
And the Shockers call time now. Mark Turgeon gets to do some coaching at the end of the basketball game, and Bruce Weber gets to do some coaching at the end of the basketball game. He would just as soon not have to do any coaching here at the end of this game, leading it by 3. And Josh Gross just lost concentration for a moment. The ball went off his hands out of bounds, and the Shockers now can tie it with a tray and get within 1 with a deuce with 1:39 to go.
And for Wichita, they really don't need a 3 right now. Sure would be great to tie up the ball game for them, but why not just do when it's been working for you and pound it down low, possibly get a 3-point play opportunity. Wichita has done a real nice job in the comeback of getting it down low and getting the fouls against Southern, so why not go to that? You got 1:39, and for Southern, do not foul. If that happens, do not foul.
Or if you foul somebody like O.J. Robinson. C.C. McFall will trigger. You definitely don't want to foul him or Terrell Benton.
Wichita State's going to be in the double bonus. 10 team fouls for SIU. Only, I believe, 9 for Wichita State, or 5, whatever it's lit up there.
And the Dawgs come away with it. Wichita turns it over again. Benton lost the dribble, and there was a mad scramble, so the Dawgs still lead by 3. Wichita still does not have to foul, but the Dawgs could sure use a bucket here. Oh, Belcher almost has it thrown away by Harvey.
Again, key possession by Wichita State that they squandered tonight. They squandered that time.
Williams, corner, jumper, no. Rebound to Kent, and now the Shockers may have to foul. They technically don't, but Southern can get the clock down to about 35 seconds.
This is where you got to think a couple possessions ahead. There aren't going to be too many more possessions in the ball game. If you're going to foul somebody, why not foul Touche?
And that's the 10th foul on Wichita, so Touche can at least make it a 2-possession game with 46 seconds left to go. He's not a great free throw shooter, only hitting him at 64%.
And you notice that time, the second that Kent Williams got rid of that basketball, Terrell Benton just rushed to Touche. That's a nice bit of coaching by Mark Turgeon to tell his players to do that.
Especially when Touche misses.
And I bet that's what they went over in the huddle, who to foul and who not to foul in this situation.
Touche needs to make this to make it a 2-possession game. He missed them both badly. But Dearman gets the board, and why did he even bother to go up?
Grunwig that time just let the ball fall over his head. He turned around, he couldn't gather it. That was a golden opportunity for Wichita State.
Fouls on Grunwig. No, they're going to call it on O.J. Robinson. How about that? It's his 3rd.
He was in the vicinity as well. And
there's the mix there. Take your pick.
I think Grunwig probably had more of the contact.
I don't know if Jermaine can shoot. You better bring in Tyrese Buie to shoot the free throws.
And you might as well say at this point, say, oh, Jermaine, just say that you're hurt a little bit more so we could get a better free throw shooter into the game.
Jermaine wants to shoot. So Jermaine gets to shoot 2 again. Southern needs him to make 1 out of 2. Short. Missed 3 in a row.
Coming up for Southern, a game against Evansville here at the arena on Saturday, and a trip to Terre Haute to take on Indiana State, but they need the win tonight.
Missed them both real badly. So, Shockers need a 3 to tie. Phillips with it. Down low to Grunwig. Right around Jermaine. Yes, and they trail by 1.
Nice jump stop 5 feet away.
Kent Williams is not going to give the basketball. He's going to have to give the ball up here.
Wichita has to try to force him to get rid of the basketball.
There's the double team and a foul called or timeout. What is it? It's a foul.
Wichita State never should have fouled in that situation. In quarter court, when Kent Williams lost his dribble, they needed to, guard against him getting rid of the, or rather guard against him doing anything with it. But there, it's a real difficult situation for Wichita because he found one of the best free throw shooters in the league. Kent lost his dribble. He was going to give it up. Not a very smart play by the Shockers there.
Southern's missed 4 in a row. Foul for shooters. Touch. 23 for Kent. Dawgs lead by 2. They can make it a one-possession, complete one-possession game if they can nail this one. And Shockers will have to take a 3. Nailed it. Kent with 24. The Dawgs lead by 3. 22 seconds left. Will Mark Turgeon take a 2 or take a 3? Still plenty of time where they can foul somebody, but there's no guarantee they're going to make a 2.
Looking at the three-point shooters for Wichita State, Terrell Benton shoots it at a 36% clip. He's taken the most 3 balls for any player on Wichita State with 157 attempts.
Shamba 38%, but he has not played many minutes and has not been in crunch time.
And now let's listen to the Saluki huddle.
I don't care if they get a layup, but no handwork, and you got to rebound, and then you got to be scoring the ball. Hey, we have a timeout.
He gets his point across, doesn't he?
In an interview, he'll go on for a couple of minutes. It takes only one question to fill about 6 minutes of time. But in a huddle, don't foul. No and ones.
No and ones. Switch everything.
And that's because you don't want to get caught up in the mix of letting somebody get quickly towards the bucket.
I think the Shockers will take their first good shot if they can get it.
There's Benton.
Oh, well, they're going to take a 3, and he nailed it. It's tied. Here comes Kent. Dawgs have a timeout. Do they want to use it? Kent's going to take the last shot. Clock ticking down. Up, over, in. No, it went out. This will count if it goes, and we're going to overtime. Oh, Kent's shot did everything but go in. How about that? And for the second consecutive game with the Shockers, it's going to overtime.
That's the only overtime ball game for the Shockers this year. Southern has had 2. They've won them both in the win against Drake and a win against Wichita State. And we mentioned about who the three-point shooters would be. And Terrell Benton, who's a leader, who was a consummate player for Wichita State, got it at the top of the key and he buried it.
Took it with 13 seconds left, so there was plenty of time left.
And again
on the clock, and here's the three-pointer to tie the game up. He rises up and hits nothing but the net.
And you were a prognosticator there. You said they're going to take their best opportunity, their first good opportunity, and right there they set him up and he buried it from about 20 feet away.
Kent had a great look at his shot down on the baseline. It went rattled but didn't go in, and here's Kent's last shot. Watch it.
Oh boy.
I mean, it was everything but in, and Benton got a pretty good long baseball type shot at the rim. Didn't go, so we're in extra innings. We're in overtime for the second straight game with the Shockers, 53-53.
And this is what Mark Turgeon talked about, because it's been such a tough year for them. These are the type of games that they've lost.
Sure.
And they've lost them at home. And Southern has had the opportunity to win a couple of close ball games this year. They won a game that they probably should never have won at Wichita the last time. And don't think that they forgot about it, because they haven't. And they'd love to steal one here and get their first road win in the conference this year.
This would be a devastating loss to Southern. This would virtually knock them out of any chance to finish 4th. And now they'd be looking at finishing anywhere from 5th to 6th. And if Drake holds on to beat Southwest tonight, then the Bulldogs can inch their way up into the fifth spot.
You got a log jam right below you, and that's the problem. 3 teams are tied.
Evansville lost tonight, probably, so they're 7-9. And either Drake or Southwest will be 7-9, and one of them will be 8-8. And if the Dawgs lose, they'll be 8-8. They do win the tiebreaker with Drake. And if they beat Evansville Saturday, they'll win the tiebreaker with Evansville. But Southern would certainly want to win this game at home. Dearman and Grunwig will tip it off for the final 5 minutes.
And remember the last time there were 2 key players in the overtime period. C.C. McFall had 13. points for Wichita State, and then Kent Williams just won the ball game for SIU at Levitt Arena last time. So those are the two players to watch for in this overtime frame.
Tip controlled by the Shockers.
And how about that? They're guarding each other.
McFall and Williams. On the wing, it's Benton. No good. Rebound to Jermaine Dearman.
I like that play call from Mark Turgeon. Get it to the player that won, or rather got it to overtime for you. The hot hand. You just missed it.
Cross on the top of the key. To Touche Harvey. Up to Marcus Belcher. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Harvey on the wing. Dearman's open. They can't get it to him. Josh does now, and it's stolen. Jermaine can't hang on to the basketball, but Josh steals that one. Pushed by Benton, and Josh Cross, who has not attempted a free throw tonight, will go to the free throw line and shoot two. Here's the pass up court, and Josh, with his athletic ability, gets it, and there's the push by Benton. Really an excuse me foul, but we'll take it.
You know, on the last possession down for SIU, there was a battle going on between JD and O.J. Robinson. It took Southern a while to pound it down to him, and you'd figure there'd be a foul called after all that, but it wasn't. It was in Wichita State's hands.
Josh hits the free throw. He's got 7. Abel Schrader fouled out with about 3 minutes to go in the basketball game, so he will not be a factor here in the overtime.
Josh is a 66% free throw shooter.
Got them both to fall, and the Dawgs lead by 2. 55-53, and Belcher will guard the full court against Michael Phillips.
Here is again where senior pride starts to play a factor. Josh Cross is a senior. Abel Schrader has nothing to do with this game now. He's fouled out of the ball game, but you got to protect your home court. You don't want to lose your second to last home game of your collegiate career.
Shot clock down to 15. Grundvig can hit a three. He's 1 for 2 this year. Shot clock down to 9. Belcher's got to do a job on Michael Phillips. Watch the crossover coming.
Nice hard pick by Grundvig that time.
3 on the clock. McFall can't see it. Finally jacks one up, and he hits it. C.C. McFall has 14, and you can't ask for any better defense than Southern had there. Dearman blocked. Cross to Kent. Oh, it brought rain, but it didn't go down.
You can see the confidence start to rise with this Wichita State ball club. And now Bruce Weber is saying, stay focused, stay focused. A stop here would be big. If Wichita gets another bucket, their confidence is going to continue to rise.
Benton to Phillips. McFall traveled, no call. Leaner, no. Rebound to Cross. Southern's had a run out. Belcher gets fouled by Benton. That'll be the 4th foul on Terrell Benton. And Southern now can at least get the lead back with a couple of free throws here. A lot of sloppy play. Kent Williams was wide open on the left wing. And there's, I don't know that was a foul.
Well, back to that last offensive possession by Wichita State. I don't know if you can see it. I certainly can. Is the passing and the movement that Wichita State has. Just a lot of confidence now. They've moved the ball better in that one possession than they did all night long.
Salukis are 8 for 19 at the free throw line. Marcus ties the game up. 56 all, under 3 minutes to go. Southern needs another stop on defense. And we talked about hitting free throws, and Southern has not hit free throws tonight. Nice feed down to Robinson. Oh, but he double clutched. Who gets it? I guess Wichita is going to keep it.
And Marcus Belcher that time was staring right at the basketball as it fell out of bounds. No matter what the call is, if you can grab the basketball, get the basketball. You know, the official's going to make the call, and there's Josh and Marcus. You know, it was right there for him. It finally bounced out of bounds. You got to wrap it up.
Timeout Turgeon. O.J. Robinson couldn't get rid of the basketball. So Mark Turgeon calls a full timeout. 2:41 left to go. 56-56. And we're right back where we started at the overtime. Started at 53 all. They hit a 3 with McFall as the shot clock was at 1. And Southerners hit 3 free throws for their only points here in the overtime.
And this is the first season for Mark Turgeon. And there's the entry pass and the block away there by O.J. Robinson. Southern's playing for a lot. They're playing for a better seed in the tournament. Wichita State really isn't playing for anything. They're for Friday. What they're playing for is next year. They've got a renovation of Old Levitt Arena coming up. It's going to be a very difficult place to play like it is already now. But they're playing for the second season of Mark Turgeon. No better way to do it than to get a couple wins at the end of the year.
Final score from Southwest Missouri State. Drake beats the Bears 73-61. Drake has now got another streak going. They've won 2 in a row on the road after losing 43 straight conference games on the road. I don't want to play Drake again.
I don't think anybody.
Although we match up with Drake very, very well. We've beaten them twice, beaten them pretty well both times.
But now it seems like a different Drake team than before. They finally got that old monkey off their back. And let's listen to Bruce Weber now in the Saluki huddle.
He's got Tyrese on the back screen. JD, you got him there. You got a 2-man here.
They want to get Dearman in a 2-man game with Williams or Harvey out high, and then Jermaine can pick up the foul. Both teams are well into the double bonus. The key is trying to get a foul on Terrell Benton and get him out of the basketball game. He has 4. Troy Mack is fouled out, as has Abel Schrader. Benton has 4 for the Shockers, and we'll see after the Shockers finish their offense what they do on defense. Who Terrell Benton guards? I think it's Touche Harvey. Look at the Dawgs from the free throw line. 9 out of 20 at home.
These are rims that you're supposed to feel very comfortable with shooting.
13 on the shot clock. Belcher just got elbowed. CC McFall, the leaner, no, rebound to Marcus Belcher. Almost stolen by McFall. So we're tied. The Dawgs have the basketball.
Kent Williams leads with 24 points for SIU. Phillips has 19, and Benton has 14, or rather CC McFall has 14, and Benton has 19 for Wichita State.
This is the 2-man game Bruce Weber was talking about, but they can't get it because Grunvig was fronting Dearman.
Now this is where the tough Wichita defense is really going to get extra tough now. They don't want to foul, but they'll play tough defensively.
Jermaine short on that one, and Southern gets the rebound. Dearman with a hook, no. Gets his own board, fouled over the top by Grunvig.
And Grunvig is not playing to win the ball game. So many times in the last couple of minutes, he's just been standing there flat-footed trying to get the rebound. Here's a little one-hand hook from JD. And he got fouled by behind. And Grunvig really is a cancer on the floor right now for Wichita State. He's not doing anything to wrap it up.
Called that foul on Michael Phillips. He's got 4 now. And Dearman will shoot 2, and he nails it. JD puts the Dawgs up by 1. And I didn't see Phillips with that foul. Then maybe they thought Grunvig had a good block over the top. Phillips with the body, but Dearman now can put the Dawgs up by 2. Short again. Nice tip away. Oh, I thought Southern was going to get that one. So the Dawgs are 10 for 22 from the line. And they only lead by 1. Grunvig, spinning move, nice move off. No, but he can't get it to fall. Cross travels. Oh, they call the foul. And Mark Turgeon can't believe that one. O.J. Robinson can't believe that one.
We've talked about it all night long. The missed opportunities for Wichita State from 5 feet in. They've been doing it all year. They can't hit that easy open layup. And then again, Grunvig. I said he was a cancer, and he proved me right because he missed that easy bank that would have put Wichita State up into the lead.
Cross with 2. Hits it. He's 3 for 3. He's the only bright spot for the line for the Dawgs tonight. See if he can put the Dawgs up by 3. And O.J. Robinson is still barking over that column. The small dog pound here is really giving it to O.J. Robinson. Joshua hits them both. Dawgs lead by 3, 1:41 left to go.
2 keys, very obvious. I probably don't have to say them. Don't foul. Don't foul. That's the 1 and 2 here for SIU. Play tough defensively.
Benton blocked by Touche. He's got a run out with Kent. Nice pass, and Kent scores. Dawgs lead it by 5. Williams has 26. What a steal by Touche, and a perfect break. 2-on-1. Beautiful break. Harvey to Williams. Dawgs lead by 5.
And what a way to run it. That time, a beautiful. We talked about the blocking ability of Touche all night. You mentioned it, actually. I seconded you in that opinion. But he came way over the top that time. He had the presence of mind not to swat it all over the place. He took the ball, took the run out, used it very nicely. A long bounce pass to Kent. And what a
Here
finish.
it is. Beautiful block. Maintain his composure. Has a 2-on-1 with Kent. Great view from the camera.
Beautiful bounce pass
Kent,
right there.
Oh, look at that. You can't run it any better on the break. Dawgs lead by 5. 1:14 to go in overtime. And the Shockers doing what they do best. Folding down the stretch after coming back and putting the game in a winnable situation.
And we talked about in that 11-game losing streak, 6 of those games were decided in single figures. And Mark Turgeon said, I'm just tired of losing these ball games when we have a chance to win. And tonight they certainly had a chance to win this ball game.
Nice shot of the Saluki fans. Benton to the wing and CC McFall. CC jacks up a 3 and he hits it. So they're back within 2. Where's McFall been all night? He doesn't look to score. There they fouled Touche. That's a good move by the Shockers. Exactly 60 seconds to go in the basketball game, and Harvey can put the Dogs up by 3 or 4 if they can convert free throws here.
With that basket, CC McFall has 17 points for the ball game tonight. Terrell Benton continues to lead with 19. On the boards, they're tied up, and that's just been the consummate battle tonight between a very hard-nosed team and a team that can be very hard-nosed Southern. They have all the potential to play that way. And they battled with a real roughneck Wichita team.
Touche hits it. Dogs lead by 3. Touche can make it again 2 possessions, and he does. Touche hits him when they count now. Southern missed 4 in a row down the last minute of regulation.
And the worst thing Wichita could do is think that they need a 3. They've done well in pounding it down. They've gotten hot from 3-point range, but now Benton needs a drive.
Strip, got a foul, and he'll shoot 2. Touche tried to go to the well once too often or cross. We'll see. It's on Josh. And let's see it here. Let's see Josh reach in there. Yeah, right there on the right wrist, no question. Josh's first foul. How about that? He's played some minutes tonight, too. American experience will follow in its entirety following tonight's basketball game. Terrell Benton misses the free throw.
He's a 77% free throw shooter on the year.
The best he can do is bring them within 3. Michael Phillips will check back in. He's got 1 more foul till he fouls out, and Benton hits it. Terrell Benton with 17.
Offense for defense here.
Yep, but Phillips has 4 fouls, so I don't know.
Well, with not a lot of time left in the ball game, you kind of throw that out a little bit.
Tyrese Buie wants to come in, and will come in for Jermaine.
And there's a strategy.
Got to get the free throw shooter in there.
Right, as Weber will take out JD, who really can't shoot the free throw all that well.
Buie gets it. Turgeon wanted to travel. There it is to Marcus Belcher, to Josh Cross. Josh draws the foul, will go back to the free throw line and shoot 2. Not exactly what Bruce Weber wanted, but he'll take it because they get the foul on Grunwig. And Josh goes to the hoop and gets 2 automatically anyway.
At least Southern ran a couple of seconds off the clock there. Wichita had some presence in the backcourt, but they didn't have a foul. Southern got it into the front court, ran some time off.
Josh short. These free throws are killing Southern.
You know, there are many ways to think about if you lose this ball game. For Wichita, missing those easy bunnies down low, and for Southern, if they somehow squander this 3-point lead, free throws, free throws, free throws.
Josh can make it 2 possessions if he can nail this free throw. 63-60 to score. It's a good shot of Josh on the mini jumbotron, and he nails it. Cross has 11. Dogs lead it by 4, 64-60. Marcus Belcher hounding CC McFall. Grunwig almost travels with it. Clark to Benton. Good look at a 3. Real short. Rebound blocked. Clark back to Benton. Another long 3 in and out. Grunwig follows. And Grunwig gets it to fall. Touche with it. Can't give it up in time before he gets fouled. It's 64-62 as Grunwig followed up the Benton miss, and it's a 2-point game with 20 seconds left. And Touche, if he can nail 2 free throws, will put the Dogs up by 4 again. And O.J. Robinson just fouled out of the basketball game with 8 points.
And that's going to hurt Wichita State because of the fact that O.J. is a rebounding player. He's a strong physical player down low. And if a shot is missed, you need to have somebody that will pick up the trash. And Mark Turgeon's using his time now as an extra timeout.
And that's perfectly legal.
It definitely is legal. He's got a certain amount of time to put in another player.
See if Touche can knock down a couple. Phillips checks in. He's got 4 fouls. He came in for O.J. Robinson. Touche hit his last 2. He needs to make 1 for sure. And he missed that one.
Checking in for Southern Illinois, 3.
Brandon Mel's in for Jermaine Dearman, and they can do that because Phillips is in for Robinson. So Southern's got to match up guard-wise.
Once again, partner, you and I are thinking the same way. It took a couple games for it to happen, but we got it.
He made one of them. So it's going to take a 3 to tie.
Again, obviously in the hands of Benton.
McFall pushes off, and so does Williams on the rebound, but Kent gets it. They got to foul him. Jump ball, Southern's basketball. Southern's ball, 6 seconds to go.
That was in a situation where it almost was a 5-second call in the corner there.
But he called a jump ball first, and Bruce Weber's going to call timeout. The good thing is Southern can't lose. They're up by 3 with the basketball, 6 seconds left. So if they get it in bounds, they're going to get fouled immediately. And this is where I would not have Kent inbounding the ball. I'd have Kent coming to the ball. Here's the held ball situation. And there it is. He grabbed it right there. No question that that's not a 5-second call at all.
Wichita State's done it this year. They've played close on the road. At the beginning of that losing streak, they lost by 4 at a very tough place to play at the Knapp Center in Des Moines. They lost 68-61 against Illinois State. Lost 77-74. So all these close games that Wichita could have won. They've been in a lot of them. They've just lost all the breaks. In that timeout, they're going to screen for Kent to get the basketball.
Kent is not going to be taking it out here. It's going to be Brandon. In fact, Southern wouldn't be a bad decision just to throw it long.
Because then you're
there it is to Josh. And he scores! And he's fouled! And the ball game is as good as over.
That's an excellent call. It should happen many times, more so than not. You're going to get a stack on the inbounds, send one guy long, and that time it was Josh. He could be on the football team. He's a very good receiver. He caught that. Beautiful layup. It just happened to go down, but the purpose was already defeated because Southern got it a long way down the floor, beat the pressure, beat the foul. Now they've got to win.
Foul was called on Matt Marcus first. That's incidental. Josh hits it. He's got 14. 2 seconds left. Long 3 by McFall. No good. And the Dawgs prevail. It was a struggle, but they do prevail in overtime. The final score was 68-62. It was tied at 53 in the overtime. And Josh Cross did a heck of a job in the overtime period for Southern, hitting some free throws and taking the pass from Kent Williams on the long, or from Brandon Mel's rather, on that last inbounds play and putting the game out of reach.
Absolutely. Southern really protected the lead at the end of the ball game. Did a nice job in the overtime period. And it wasn't pretty tonight, folks, but Southern got it done. And I believe Rick Gregg is ready with the victorious head coach of SIU, Bruce Weber.
It is a win, Coach. Not the way you scripted it, but it's a win.
Well, we had our chances extended. It was one of those nights where we just couldn't get some layups to go. The balls didn't bounce our way. They got some, the balls went their way. They made some big threes down the stretch. But our kids showed a lot of heart by hanging in there and being positive. We made some big plays. Touche had a huge block, got the ball back, and then we had a great pass to Kent to kind of get it up where we were comfortable in overtime. So I'm pleased with the kids that we were able to find a win. We got 2 wins over them in overtime. So I'll take it. I don't care.
Free throws were a big part in the win last time. This time they almost killed you. But
well, we couldn't make, they just said they're going to foul Touche. It's a strategy, and he finally made those. Josh made most of his. It gave them chances, though, to get back. Their kids made shots. It was, they battled. I said it was going to be a tough game. I was hoping when we had 8-10-point lead there, we'd keep it at that spot, but we didn't. So, but we won, so that's the most important thing. Now we got to take care of Evansville.
Evansville is next. What are you planning for that game?
Well, we've had some luck on them. We've had their number. We're just going to play good, hard-nosed basketball. We seem to be a little more physical than they are. We seem to get it inside, so hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can have a nice crowd for our seniors on their last game.
All right, thank you very much, Coach, for doing this all year. Back to you guys.
That's Rick Gregg with the gravel pit voice of Bruce Weber wrapping this one up. Dawgs win it 68-62. Russ and I will be back after this with some more on tonight's basketball game.